What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are having a blessed and beautiful evening. Today's topic of discussion, I will be talking about why the obedience is better than the sacrifice. I know in scripture you can find that in 1 Samuel 15 and 22, King James Version. I will have the Bible verse over here if you guys can see it. Pretty much going into the obedience and the sacrifice. And I know that for me, sometimes the scripture don't always just jump up at you. Like you read it, but you don't really get the sense and feeling until God truly reveals what that means. I don't know if anybody ever felt that way, that you read something and then it's like, okay, but when you really read it, like, meditate on it, you get something different out of it second or third time that you probably read it. And that's what happened to me. I'm going to share with you guys something that God just gave me this morning pertaining to obedience and sacrifice. Yes, just this morning. I got up early this morning to go pray, as I normally do, in our prayer room. My husband and I have a prayer room that is dedicated only to prayer. So I went in there to go pray, my normal, thanking you, Lord, for allowing me to see another day. Thank you for keeping me throughout the night. Thank you for keeping my family, blessing my family, covering my family and stuff of that nature. So as I began to go deep in prayer, I began to think about the things that he had promised before, like our businesses. So rewinded back to 2020, I was working factory. I've been in factory for maybe the past 12, 13 years. Doing factory work, and obviously in COVID state, it got shut down, and the job would be up, it'd be down, it'd be up, it'd be down, it'd be up, it'd be down. But God had pulled me away from just the factory life and just working 9 to 5 period, and placed a business, or shall I say several businesses, in front of my husband and I's hands and stuff, and wanted us to concentrate on doing that. So I was fine with it, stay at home wife and working on our businesses, God paying all our bills, he's taking care of us and stuff of that nature. So I had no issue with it. Like, okay, it's cool. So fast forward to now, to today, I began to ask him about this. Like, well, with these businesses, God, like I've been putting hours in, I've been putting my blood, sweat, and tears into this business. My husband as well, and we want to see the things that you promised to, finally manifest in what you said that you were going to do with these businesses. So I began to ask him about it, and I began to say, I sacrificed so much. But although God was taking care of us all along, I'm looking at it like, well, we can use more, when I'm sacrificing being home, working on this business, and this business ain't kicking in no money yet. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, and I'm sacrificing time and energy and effort, like I've kind of blotted out my life, for the past couple of years to truly be focusing on this business. Like all my time, and not all of it, but the majority of my time is focused on running these businesses and getting them off the ground and getting everything behind, like the business scenes, getting all that stuff done. So I began to ask him, like, I'm sacrificing so much. Like, what's going on? And I remember him telling me, like, sacrifice is not better than you being obedient to me. He said, you can sacrifice and sacrifice. For an example, if I sacrifice a week and fast for a week and stuff, he was saying pretty much like, okay, once you finish that fast, you gonna go back to eating or doing or watching TV or eating what you want or doing what you want after this week. Like, I'm not fascinated by what you giving up. I'm fascinated by you just listening to me and being obedient to me. So it dawned on me like, wow, like I never ever looked at it that way. All I feel that I'm sacrificing, my time, my effort, like that's not even important when it comes to God. What you giving up, what you putting aside, he don't care about none of that. He just wants your obedience. And I truly feel being obedient to God is showing your submissiveness to him, showing that whatever you say, I do, no question. He loves that. And here I am being selfish, like, dang, like, when is this going to happen? Or when is that going to happen? When are you going to do this for me? and not even recognizing like all that I've been giving up, all that I've been calling myself sacrificing. God, he is okay, but it's like, I'm not big on that. Just like in the Bible, when Abraham had to sacrifice his son, it's more so, I want to see if you're going to be obedient or not. And I use your son because I know you love him. I know you love him. I know you love him. So I want to see, would you do it just because I asked you to? You know? Like I said before, being obedient to God is being submissive to his word out of love, not fear. My definition of fearing God is simply, I don't want to disappoint him. It's a respect thing with me. It's more so like I respect you too much to disappoint you. You know, it's just like with our parents. We love them and we fear them. We don't fear them to the point where, oh my God, I'm scared that they might harm us or kill us. Like, they don't instill that type of fear in us. It's more so a respect thing. Like, I don't want to disappoint you. I love you that much to not want to disappoint you. I want to share something with you guys, just a quick story time. Promise I won't be before you guys long, pertaining to my obedience. The end of last year, I was plotting on going back into the workforce after God just specifically told me, like, no, you stay home, focus on these businesses. But at the time, the businesses was not bringing in nothing. So it's like, okay, you got me here in my creative space, you know, just writing things down and, you know, just planning out this business, getting things done, trying to get some things copywritten behind the scenes, like business wise. And I'm like, this is not making no money. And like, we just moved into our new home. We just actually bought a home. So it's like, I need to go back to work. Like, you know, I can use the extra couple of dollars, you know. And then I think it was around Christmas time too. So it's like Christmas coming up. I want to, you know, have something under the tree, you know. And he already told me, just like, no, just focus on business. So I got to the point where I was just growing so impatient. Like, you know what? I'm going to just go for like the Christmas season and then probably, you know, focus back on this business. I went to an agency and they hooked me up with a job. So that was on a Friday. So Monday, I actually supposed to start at the job. So I'm like, okay, I'm excited, but still kind of, you know, because I'm going against God's will and I never want to do that. But it's like, you know, we need, you know, we in need right now. My hustling tactics kicked in, if you will. So I'm like, I gotta go back, you know, get a couple of dollars and save, you know, and get some gifts and stuff. So I sat that Saturday and Sunday just heavy on my mind, weighing heavy on my mind. Like, time is winding down. Monday's almost here. So Sunday night, I promise you, I didn't get no sleep. I promise you. I thought it was just me being nervous to go back into the workforce after like COVID. So I'm like, okay, just tossing and turning. I'm telling my husband, I'm tossing and turning. So I got up to get ready for work and I told my husband, okay, well, you know, I'll see you when I get home. So I began driving. So I'm hearing God just saying, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So I'm like, I'm trying to ignore this voice, like, and he's tugging on me. He making me feel heavy. I'm driving, so it's making me feel like heavy to even hold the wheel or even turn. So I'm like, okay, I finally get into the front of the job. And guys, when I tell you, the fear of God was on me. I was fearing like, oh my goodness, like, and I heard him clear as day again say, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I kid you not, I didn't even go into that job. I rolled right past it and came back home. But before I actually made a stop home, I probably took maybe a 10-minute drive up the road, just driving and crying and asking God, like, you see that we in need. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, we trying to get things in order and we trying to get back on track and, you know, do what we got to do, you know, to at least keep our head above water right now. Like, you know, so I'm just driving up the road, just in tears, just crying out, just praying and just crying out. So finally I end up coming back home. My husband probably, he looking like, dang, that was quick. Like, you know, so he seen me, my whole demeanor, like, just cried out and just, you know, hurt. So he just looked at me and just hugged me and just hugged me. And we began to pray. And I told him what God said. Like, what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing at this job? I told you. The days of the factory, 9 to 5, working for people, that day, those are over. And I'm like, oh my God, just crying. So my husband, again, he prayed for me. And I think I laid down. I went back to sleep. And I got back up later on. And God specifically, I promise y'all, I would not lie to y'all. God told me, he said, the reason why I did not allow you to go into that job that you was about to go in, because your blessings is here. Your blessings are here at home, where I told you they would be pertaining to these businesses. This is where your blessing is. And I just began to shout and just cry, just crying. And he told me some things to do pertaining to the business. He said, listen to me. Go do this. Go do that for this. Go do this. Go do this. And I promise you, maybe later on that day, things started to like kind of, pick up and stuff. And I'm just crying like, wow. Like, wow, Lord, you are amazing. Like, you are great. Like, you are magnificent. You are wonderful. You are everything. Like, you brilliant, And he began to show me things that will work for our business, But the most important thing of all wasn't none of that. The most important thing of all is my obedience, to yield to his will for my life and trust him. I also remember going to church one Sunday. Around that time, Apostle was preaching. He was preaching a good word, and he began to prophesy about someone truly having to trust God and trust what he's doing and trust in the process and everything. He said, little do y'all know, y'all think that y'all missing out or losing out. He said, God has got you where he wants you, and he's building a business. He's building a brand. He's building businesses with you. He's doing something great. So that was my confirmation to truly stay put. Like, I'm not about to mess it up for nothing. Like, I've already put time and effort in it. So I'm going to continue to trust the process. Although it get hard. Trust and believe it get hard. But I'm telling you, that reward is a greater feeling than you can ever imagine. So I'm staying on my post. Back on the sacrifice thing, it's like one last thing, because God is giving me this stuff as I go along. So I'm trying to give it to you how he's giving it to me. I'm writing it down, like having to stop and write things down. But back in the biblical times, they were sacrificing goats and burnt offerings and all that other stuff that they were given to show their sorrowful, repenting, like, I give you this, I give you that, show you I love you and that I'm sorry for my sins and stuff of that nature. However, it's like, that stuff can be replaced. Like, I gave you a goat. I can go buy another one tomorrow. Or I can go get one later on in the day. You get what I'm saying? But it's like, but what God sacrificed, which is his only begotten son, that can never be replaced. I know God is pleased with our efforts. Don't get me wrong. I know he sees us trying. I know he sees our drive. I know he sees our determination. I know he sees our will. I know he sees that we're willing. Out of all that, I know he's more pleased with our obedience. And I come to learn that the blessings is not in the sacrifice. It's in obedience. Hopefully you guys, I done made myself happy by just thinking about it. But hopefully you guys truly enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave me a big fat like, thumbs up, and share if you want to. And please subscribe to the channel, because there's more to come on this channel. Like I say, I'm just new. I'm just kicking it off, and I'm trying to see where God want me to go with this channel. Because I have a couple of other channels. My husband and I have a main page with In the Mix with Kai and Nick. So if you guys get a chance, go check that out. I will leave a link in the description if you guys want to check that out as well. But if you guys liked it, give me a big fat thumbs up. But hopefully, again, you guys enjoy this beautiful day and do something positive. Bless somebody. Whether it's a hug, whether it's finances, whether it's a text message, whether it's, just pulling up on them just to say, hey, or just to say I was thinking about you. Trust and believe. That goes a long way. Because you never know what somebody's going through. See you guys in the next video.